There was breaking news this past week, perhaps the news that many people were hoping for. Jeff Butler, the president and chief operating officer at Connecticut Light and Power, resigned effective immediately on Thursday. Jeff Butler was the only executive from CL&P or Northeast Utilities to face the media in the days following both storms. Lack of communication and inaccurate information were two of the biggest gripes that town officials had during the prolonged outages. With Governor Malloy overseas, senior advisor Roy Ilkiagrosso released a statement on behalf of the office saying Governor Malloy made it clear that he thought Northeast Utilities needed to address CL&P's management issues, and it is clear that process has begun. It is also likely that there will be other changes on other fronts as a result of CL&P's performance in the lead up to and aftermath of the storm. Butler's resignation is just the start. There will be a number of reviews of the storm response over the next few months, perhaps at the federal level, but already at the state level. There are, for now, at least 5 separate independent reviews pending. This past week, company executives from the state's 2 utility companies, United Illuminating and CL&P, as well as leadership from parent company Northeast Utilities, testified before Governor Malloy's 2-storm panel and talked about a growing number of suggestions on how to improve and make sure the disaster that happened after the storms doesn't happen again.
It's a prediction our state can't ignore. The National Weather Service says we are overdue for a Category 3 hurricane to hit Connecticut's shores. If we thought the damage and widespread outages were bad during Tropical Storm Irene and our October nor'easter, think again.
So we just spent $250 million to rebuild a system that we know in a Category 3 hurricane is going to come down completely. A prudent person may say to themselves, maybe I need to be thinking about strengthening this system, and this investment in just rebuilding the existing system may be extremely short-sighted.
The governor's 2-storm panel co-chair, Joe McGee, brings up a thought-provoking question during CL&P and Northeast Utilities testimony today. The topic of hardening our infrastructure or making it more weather-resistant was one of many subjects touched, as this 8-member panel listened to the state's utility companies explain their preparation and response to back-to-back devastating storms.
You know how to strengthen the system. You just laid out 4 options for us. I suspect you also know how much it's going to cost us to do that.
We could figure that out.
I think you probably could.
Hardening the system could include more tree trimming programs, upgraded equipment, and the possibility of going underground.
The question is, how far do you go with the hardening, and to what extent does it make sense to harden the system against those types of severe weather?
Well, clearly, if you could reduce storm outage from 9 days or 11 days to 5, I may say to myself, and that's going to cost me X a year, I may take that deal. But right now, I don't have that choice as a customer.
That was Fox Connecticut's Jen Bernstein reporting. Meanwhile, it seems everyone knows someone whose property was damaged during Tropical Storm Irene or the nor'easter and now needs help filing an insurance claim or getting paid. But few of those people showed up when lawmakers held a public hearing to find out how insurance companies are handling things. I found out there is still help if you ask for it. Exactly 1 homeowner came forward to tell lawmakers about his troubles getting a claim paid. In all fairness, the middle of the day is a tough time. People are at work. But the more lawmakers know about what needs to be changed, the more they say they can push for change. It's a good thing Andy Weinstein's story is so extreme, because today he spoke for all Connecticut residents frustrated by their insurance company's response, or really lack of response, after Tropical Storm Irene. His 3-bedroom beachside home in East Haven collapsed, and in 11 weeks, he says his claim has been transferred 6 times to 4 different analysts and 2 different adjusters. For the total loss of his home, he has received $10 grand from his insurance company, with no assurance that he'll get anything else but the runaround.
I think it's shameful that insurance companies are allowed to treat people who have suffered devastation so disrespectfully. We are one of many waiting for answers.
Answers lawmakers say they can help get. Today, the legislature's insurance committee held a public hearing and also had time to question the state's insurance commissioner and several FEMA agents about how to better help business and homeowners protect themselves. One of the problems after Irene was people thought they were covered, but discovered that even though the storm was downgraded, they had to pay huge deductibles.
Lawmakers say they can create policy that will prohibit windstorm deductibles for anything less than a hurricane.
We need to look at that and make sure that the proper disclosures are there so that the consumer and people understand what they're buying, and at the same time provide clarity for the market so that when something comes along like this hurricane that was really a tropical storm, that the insurance companies can't play games on the policyholders.
House Speaker Chris Donovan says problems after the nor'easter need to be addressed also.
We heard of a restaurant owner who filed claims for spoiled food and was told to sue CL&P. Didn't seem to be a good solution.
Those are just a few examples of the kinds of problems that Connecticut's insured and insurers are facing. If you have questions or complaints or suggestions for that matter, you should call the Connecticut Insurance Department at 1-800-203-3447. They also have a website with lots of good information and links. In Hartford, I'm Laurie Perez, Fox Connecticut News. CL&P has also said it is focusing on improving the communication with town and municipalities, something they said they were working on after Tropical Storm Irene. Another recommendation, working with the states and towns to have a statewide full-scale mock drill. Up next, Travelers gets proactive, helping to train the workforce of tomorrow. We're going to see how they are doing it.